Guys, what's up? Okay, so today, I know my style of video does look a lot different, but mainly because I'm doing a different video this time. And today's one is my top 10 favourite polearms, which you might be wondering, what's a polearm? Well, a polearm is actually a type of weapon in which you use a very long pole as a hilt with a relatively short blade or 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 a long one, depending on what type it is. You mainly hold it in its center. For example, or you would hold a spear at the center, not at the end of it. So, on to my top 10. Okay, in 10th place is the pike. This one only makes 10th place is because although it is incredibly long, there's one big problem with it. It's if your opponent actually knows how to cut at this weapon, not going to do well for you because, well, you're going to be left with just a pole. A very long pole, which it's not very effective. So you can mainly get a good thrust as the first and would hit them at a very long range, but it's easy to actually cut at something very long and hit them to end just being useless. In 9th place is one which is commonly found in modern day, the man catcher. The man catcher is designed which would actually catch a person in locking them in and mean be harder for them to move. Which this is very effective if they're on a horse. However, on the mid-battlefield, this won't be very effective. That's why, even though it's found in modern day and can still be very easily used, especially by the Chinese government, and you can't really use it in a battlefield, so that's why it makes 9th place on my list. 8th place is the war scythe. The war scythe, if it's a bit like a scythe, but it's you can't actually use it for fun because it's designed for more military. This is very effective if as you can use it as an axe, which can be extremely helpful in an arena, but it's not as good as an actual axe now, is it? That's why it's so low. Besides, it's more effective on souls than an actual human body. 7th place is the lance. I know you'd often think, hold on, this is very common in jousting, but as you can see here, that the lance is mainly just a polearm and a bit like a spear, so not very effective when you're actually using it. And even though it's called a polearm, you hold it at the end, so it's an exception to the polearm rule. So it's debatable whether it's called actually a polearm, but same rules apply for the pike. They could just cut you down, and you can only really get a good thrust with it instead of a parry, which can be very effective if in battle. In 6th place is the sword staff, as seen here. The main reason why a sword staff is pretty low on this, even though it has sword in the name, is you can get a good parry and potentially a thrust, but it's not really that effective on the battlefield because there are so many greater designs out there, which I'll be explaining later on. And so there isn't very much you can actually do to actually make impressive skills with a sword staff. In 5th place is a very commonly known one, but often just deemed as not very effective, and that's the spear, as seen here. See right there? This is actually very effective because you can get a good thrust in there as well, but also you can block with a pole as well. Sort of may damage to the pole, but it's still going to be very effective. because we've been using this for thousands of years now. Oh, and if it stood that test of time, we're going to actually use it more. The one have given for 4th place never appeared in real life, but after doing some research, this one has been deemed a polearm instead of what it sounds like, and that is the double-edged sword. But a highly functional design, and excellent on the battlefield because you can get good parry, thrust, block, and even have an attack ready when you're blocking. And so you could actually cause real damage to an opponent. And with this. But, come on. There's always is better than a sword. Walking on being better than a sword, 3rd place goes to the Danax. The Danax is pretty much well known with Vikings. It's very effective because it's an axe. It's a good chop in there. You could actually take an arm or a leg or maybe even a head. So, pretty effective on the battlefield, and you would not want to stand in their way. The only way you'd probably stand a chance is if you had a shield, which people back in Saxon times did have. 2nd place is actually one commonly associated with mythology and the Hunger Games, the Trident. And a very effective weapon because, as unlike a lot of other polearms, you can get a good thrust, which actually gets a hit in 3 different areas. That is very effective. Plus, with some designs as well, you can also get a good parry in there, just like a Danax. But it's not 1st place due to on how effective the 1st place one is, and also because this weapon doesn't have a lot of range to it. So you are pretty much weak. And the last one, 1st place, goes to the halberd, right here. The halberd, it is a very effective weapon, and because there's one, and you've got a little bit of a spear on the end, and of it, which you can get thrust to it, but you've also got the axe to hit in just like a Danax. You get an arm, a leg, maybe a head, and if you actually thrust it, you get 2 places of damage. So pretty much a lot there. And that's it. That's all for this video. So I really hope you enjoyed this, and if you enjoy this type of video, hopefully you smash that like button, and then there's probability I'll make more or like this. And if you really enjoy it, please subscribe, because I'm trying to actually reach 100 subscribers. Hopefully we can make it. Bye.